What's up, knife people? So check it out. Why am I making this video? You know I'm a big fan of GEC knives. And something about GEC, they do make knives the old way, and a lot of the materials they use are not like the stainless steels that we use today, or have stainless steel mixtures in them, such as, let's say, this Benchmade, which is made of 154 cm steel. The benefits of steel like this is it's basically a super steel. It gets really sharp, and not only that, it has very good corrosion resistant properties in it. Carbon steel blades, on the other hand, do not generally. Depends what type of mixture they used, but every batch, you really don't know when you're dealing with carbon steel. You do not know what the characteristics of that particular metal is going to be until you actually use it, experience it. Each one of these knives could actually be different. Alright? But the good thing about carbon steel is it's very easy to sharpen. It gets razor sharp, absolutely razor sharp. It makes a very good EDC blade, very good camping blade, a very good blade that you're going to use all the time. Not really a good knife that you're going to use and throw in your tackle box. And that's because when you bring it out of your tackle box, it's going to be a rusted mess. Here's a good example. Great little knife I got here. It's the new farm tool made by GEC. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a lot of spotting on this. I actually came back a week later. This is what I use on the weekends when I'm not at work. And it basically had rust, and I had to clean it off, actually build up rust on these blades. Not only that, the entire interior was full of rust. Now, I believe I put it away after I oiled it. Alright? But I might have used it on something and I didn't realize it, and I put it in there. So I might have, I don't know, got some water on it or whatever. And it looks like I dripped maybe some water on it right here, and I put it away, and a week later I took it out, and it was literally, I mean, it was highly corroded. Nothing really permanent, you know, the spotting is, but nothing that really destroyed the knife. But it's just something to think about. You always want to put away your blades oiled. These I keep on display in my room, and they're very nice. Let me see if I can turn this for you guys so you can see forward. Now this is some of my GEC collection. What makes these knives special is that a lot of them were got on the open house that they do every year up in Pennsylvania. They're all serialized. They all have special numbers. Like, for instance, these Barlows, for instance, I have number 3 and number 4. All right, number 1 and number 2 are both with the owners. Alright, I have number 3 and number 4. This is the first year that the Barlows came out. It's a very special knife. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of preservative on these knives. Big time. But you still want to check these knives constantly. Because you would hate to open this knife up one time and see rust spots on it. And this is the first time I've opened this up for about 12 months, so we might find a rust spot on one of these. So we're going to go through these knives really quick. I'll tell you a little story about them. But factory test production run. This is a very nice knife, these Barlows. And I love their acrylics, because these acrylics will never shrink or anything. The great thing about acrylics is they really look good. The problem with acrylics in the past being in the 1920s, 40s, and 50s, is that they had a tendency to corrode everything in your box, and they expanded and they cracked, and it was a nightmare. The acrylics now are very stable, and so far they are not doing that, and they guarantee that they won't do that. Alright, so really beautiful little Barlows. Oh, check this one out. This one, a little abalone. It's got little cutouts for your fingers, just like the old knives used to. This one has this little muskrat. I'm trying to think what I used on these. whatever I used on these to preserve them, I'm going to do it again because it really works well. I'll probably use some Ballistol. I know the mineral oil thing is a good idea too, but it just really makes me nervous because I'm not too sure. The Ballistol I know works good. And you don't really want to experiment with your knives. When this collection right here, each one of these knives is worth at least $100. So you can look at least $100. And anyone that knows anything about GEC knows that they're worth more than $100. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have over $1,200 worth of knives here. Okay, and we all know that these are worth more than that. So you want to make sure that you preserve them correctly. Now, these are collector pieces, and they go up in value every year. All this stuff goes up in value. Every time I do one of these videos, I get an offer on one of these Barlows. Would I sell one? Maybe number 4. Not number 3 though. Number 3 is mine. What makes it so special is that only the family owns 1 and 2, and I own number 3. It's really cool. Look at these acrylics. Really cool stuff. I can actually wipe this off a little bit so you guys can not see the... Why do I smell it? Because Ballistol. I'm just making sure that it is Ballistol. Look at that. Just beautiful. Look at that. And what's so cool about that is you know that, I mean, everyone's like, natural material, natural material. Well, if you look back, the old knives that do have acrylics that are still in good shape pull premium dollar. Premium. But the problem is none of them survived. These are just really nice. Look at this cool one. And these are all serialized too. This is, it says OH3. Okay, Open House 3. This last one was Open House 10. Nothing too special about these. These are the non-liner lock ones, which really make, these are cool. And number one, you don't really need a liner lock on these because you have half stops and all that cool stuff. But check this out. Look at the thickness difference. And I'm going to take, this is the thinnest liner lock I have ever seen, by the way. Look at the thickness difference. Or just right there. So it's really a nice back pocket knife. Now let's see if we can see any corrosion starting on any of these. Nothing that I can really see right now. Now this is also, this is number 19, and this was the first back lock that they had. Look at this. It is such a smooth operation. This is one of their, I think, one of their most premium knives out there. And that's a locking blade, and look how thin this knife is. Got a little corrosion starting on the back spring. Back springs are something you got to watch big time because you have the grains of the metal running straight down. And it's really easy for your eyes to confuse that with the liner locks, but what it actually is the grains in the material separating and producing corrosion. Just a beautiful knife. Look how smooth that is. Just beautiful. Really nice. This is one of my old favorites. This is Burnt Stag. I've used this a lot. Just razor sharp. My hands are like leather, so it doesn't really affect me. Look at these large knives. I'm going to bring this out to the center for you guys. These large knives are incredible. We have Open House. Let's see if I can point with something here. Open House 11, Open House 5, Open House 12, and Open House 4. You want to see a look at this. This is, oh dear, what is it? It's sheep horn. Look at the size of this thing. Liner locks. These blades are awesome. Now these are, you can see what type of knife it is by the first 2 digits. It's the 23. This model's the 23, and this model is the 73. Look at the size difference. This is a massive knife, and really good for people that are grown and they want a nice big knife to carry. This thing is awesome. Just awesome. Again, razor sharp, very easy to maintain these edges. Just beautiful. This one, it's got a bluish tint to it, so I would have to say it is bone and or buffalo horn. Buffalo horn can take on a blue tint. Just a beautiful knife. It's got kind of like a blue glow to it. Really creamy and milky. Very descriptive. Thanks. This one I know is buffalo horn. Just beautiful. Outstanding. Check out this bone one. This is calf bone. Really cool. Sometimes calf bone can take on some really nice looks. Just beautiful. All have half stops, which aren't really necessary when you have a liner lock, but they put it in there anyway. Just in case this liner lock fails, this knife, you can't even do it with one hand, is going to stop at that point. Or at least it's not going to have the full power of that spring or the momentum of that spring coming down on your hand. That's the safety of a liner lock. All knives used to have that. Today, it's a rarity, and you pay for it. A little bit of corrosion starting on that one. Nothing major, though. Okay, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a little look at some of my knives. What I'm going to do to preserve these, most likely, is soak them down with Ballistol, because I trust that stuff more than I can say. And you know, I would use some of this tough glide, which is really good. This is dry lubricant. This works really well too. So I'm kind of at a debate whether I should do that, but we'll check it out. Now let's say you have a little bit of corrosion there. What can you do? You can get a corrosion eraser. You can get these at any hobby store, and you can rub that out. You want to be careful though, because you don't want to ruin any of the nice patina that you have here. So you give it just a little rub, just to make sure you get the surface, and then I'll even it out, just like so, and it's gone, just like that. And I feathered it out a little bit because these liners are brass and they have taken on a nice patina, so I don't want to ruin that patina, because that patina is very desirable to knife collectors and myself. That patina takes time to create. Some people like polish their knives. I mean, go easy, guys. I mean, you know, it's make sure that there's nothing started. If you have a doubt, you just take your little corrosion eraser, just rub it down there, and what that does is just stop the disease, because corrosion is it is contagious. So make sure it's not there. There you go. Just to give it a nice thing. Now this isn't corrosion, it's just me being very particular. I'm very particular with all my knives. All my knives that I sell and all that stuff. Very particular. You should be very particular. It's a big world, and why get a knife with corrosion when you don't have to get that particular knife with corrosion? It's a big world. Shop around. Take your time. Okay, and that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Y'all take it easy.